This week on the show, a legal loss, a glaring double standard on the polo field, a racist senator who holidayed in Courchevel, and a prince who refuses to be broken by any of it.
We're covering Harry's UK charity work and the Highgrove family reunion, the media's double standard around Kate and Meghan, a cluster of press accountability stories, and the racist attack on Kylian Mbappé. Let's start with Harry's week in Britain.
Harry's UK trip this week carried real weight. Wellchild, Invictus, Scotty's Little Soldiers, and a surprise family reunion at Highgrove. But the press kept trying to turn every appearance into a psychodrama.
So at Chatham House, Harry welcomed Uganda as the 26th member of the Invictus Community of Nations. He was also in Birmingham for the one-year countdown to the 2027 Games, getting involved in wheelchair rugby and a laser run. And in the Alison Hammond interview, he traced the Games back to 2008.
Your inspiration back to a moment when, in the past, when did you feel inspired? Where did that moment come from?
Back to 2008, coming back on a plane from Afghanistan after a 10-week deployment. When as we took off, the curtain in front of me opened, and 3 British soldiers, all in induced comas, were lying on hospital beds in front of me. So one of the guys was holding a test tube with shrapnel that had been taken out of his neck and his head, holding that in his hand. And I thought, wow, this is the kind of stuff that so many people don't see and don't know that it's happening. That then led to 2013, the Warrior Games in America, and that was sport literally rehabilitating the soul and the mind and the body. And I was like, we need to make this thing international.
And honestly, the Alison Hammond interview was a breath of fresh air. She did what so few interviewers seem to manage. She made Harry feel comfortable. No palace drama, no gotcha questions. Just a warm, funny conversation about the Invictus Games, the veterans, and why it all matters. Harry was relaxed, joking about laser tag and talking about his kids loving Junior Bake Off. Alison later said he was cool and lovely, which is not the Harry you'd recognize if you only read the tabloids.
And then there was the third charity, Scotty's Little Soldiers. Harry joined 200 children and their families at Maxstoke Castle for their summer festival.
This is a charity that supports children who have lost a parent in the armed forces. Harry is their global ambassador, and he didn't just show up for a speech. He did water balloon fights. He went on an inflatable obstacle course. He even tried goat yoga.
But there was one moment that really stood out. A young boy tried to climb onto Harry.
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to climb on me? Okay. Are you the goat or am I the goat? Okay.
That's the thing. For these children, Harry wasn't a royal. He was just a man who showed up, played with them, and made them feel seen. That's what Scotty's Little Soldiers is about, giving bereaved military children a sense of community, connection, and joy. And Harry gave them that in spades.
The press keeps trying to paint him as bitter and broken. But then you see footage like this. Harry covered in water, laughing with kids, playing goat yoga. And you realise the narrative doesn't match the reality.
The Scotty's Little Soldiers visit was warm and joyful, but the Highgrove reunion tells a more complicated story. While the press wanted Harry humiliated, it was Charles who faced a humiliating backlash from the public.
But they haven't done an updated risk assessment since 2019, and in those 7 years...
Are you saying Ravic's not doing their job?
I am saying that.
You're saying the Home Office is incompetent?
I am saying that.
They're happy to risk the security of Prince Harry?
I am saying that, and I'll say that
Even
with my...
But I would argue, from a business perspective, this is terrible PR. It's terrible PR. I think it makes the king look spiteful.
A man who's got all the funds in the world at his disposal and about 50 palaces, how can they not find a place for the son to stay?
I think you put it best. I think it's bizarre that a son can't stay at his own father's house. I think you put it best. I think
it's pathetic. I mean, it's unbelievable that a son who's in line for the throne, who fought for 10 years in Afghanistan for this country, who loves this country, the only royal who's fought in Afghanistan, all the rest with the chocolate medals on, when they parade through the street, it's pathetic.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, he is the king's son. If he can't get protection when the likes of these politicians get...
The taxpayer has funded security for Taylor Swift. She is a very wealthy woman. Beyonce, Tom Cruise, J.K. Rowling. Well, I was trying to stay away from other royals. And actually, the king is funding the security for Prince Andrew. But the Crucially, the crux of this complication when it comes to security and Harry is not the cost of it, because Harry has said he is willing to fund it. He doesn't want the taxpayer to have to fund it. It's the access to the intelligence, and it's the access to also maybe a bit of security.
The backlash was immediate and severe. The public found it cruel that a king with countless palaces could not find a room for his own son. But for those who have followed this family, this behaviour is nothing new.
Harry wrote that after he moved out of Clarence House, Camilla converted his former bedroom into a dressing room. Then, several months after becoming king, Charles evicted Harry and Meghan from Frogmore, their only permanent UK residence, even though the Sussexes had repaid the full £2.4 million of public money spent on its renovation.
Meanwhile, Charles continues to pay for security and accommodation for his disgraced brother, Prince Andrew, and his daughters. So the idea that Charles could not find a room for Harry was always laughable. The public was not amused.
So when reports emerged that Meghan, Prince Archie, and Princess Lilibet would still be coming to Britain to visit Princess Diana's ancestral home at Althorp, Charles, who has always been in competition with Diana's legacy, suddenly had to act. Some would argue it was an attempt to steal the spotlight and recover from the backlash.
The meeting happened. Charles and Camilla hosted Harry, Meghan, and the children at Highgrove, the first time Charles had seen Archie and Lilibet since the 2022 Platinum Jubilee. Buckingham Palace confirmed it.
So to all those who have spent years insisting Harry and Meghan's children don't exist, simply because the couple respects their children's privacy, well, you'll have to take that up with Charles and Camilla, because the idea that 2 children have been faked for 7 years would require the complicity of the UK government, US officials, hospital staff, the entire community of Montecito, courtiers, and every reasonable, critical person who has ever seen them. The sheer scale of such a conspiracy would involve thousands, if not millions, of people keeping up the facade.
Which would mean either the monarchy is running the most elaborate deception in modern history, or, more likely, the conspiracy theorists are simply refusing to accept reality.
Palace sources briefed the press while reportedly insisting the meeting remain private. But of course, the palace made sure everyone knew it happened.
But tea at Highgrove does not erase Frogmore. It does not erase the security fight. It does not erase years of briefings and smears.
Several stories this week examine how the British press frames or refuses to frame accountability, and what happens when powerful institutions are the ones being challenged.
The Daily Mail ruling is the anchor. Harry, Baroness Doreen Lawrence, Sir Elton John, David Furnish, Elizabeth Hurley, Sadie Frost, and Sir Simon Hughes lost their High Court case after 11 weeks and an estimated £38.8 million. In their joint statement, Lawrence and Harry called it a complete and obvious whitewash, adding, "When the court says there is not sufficient evidence of wrongdoing, despite the documents showing otherwise, then one does wonder how justice was ever going to be achieved."
The statement goes further, describing a private investigator who admitted on tape to having unlawfully blagged Baroness Lawrence, and a journalist who recorded the name of the investigator she used to obtain sensitive medical information. The claimant's argument is that the court chose to believe male journalists' denials over documentary evidence.
A legal victory does not erase a legacy of ethical failure. The court found the specific claims unproven. It did not conduct a moral audit of the Mail's wider culture. But Paul Dacre, the architect of a tabloid era defined by intrusion and moral outrage, treated the ruling as exoneration. He called it an overwhelming vindication of our journalism and lectured the public about courage and truth-telling. This from a man whose paper was the top customer of a private investigator who supplied illegally obtained information. The same paper that attacked judges as enemies of the people and reduced political leadership to a Legsit headline. Dacre's press has always been comfortable policing others. It has never been comfortable being policed itself. The question his career raises is simple. When the press becomes a powerful institution, who holds it to account?
That judgment didn't happen in a vacuum, though. The post-verdict media behavior tells its own story. Charlotte Griffiths, editor-at-large at the Mail on Sunday, published a personal essay revisiting a brief encounter with Harry in 2011, including a white pill anecdote she herself described as almost certainly paracetamol. The question is blunt. If you want to forget someone, you typically stop publishing articles about them.
And if you're looking for irony, consider the Newsweek coverage. Jack Royston has run a sustained traffic watch series on Meghan's Ever Lifestyle brand, bounce rates, similar web estimates, inventory glitches. While Press Gazette reported Newsweek suffered the steepest year-on-year traffic drop among major US news sites in June. The Daily Mail followed a similar trajectory, with its domain switch from .co.uk to .com contributing to a 55% decline to 36.8 million visits.
Underpinning all of this coverage is the framing of Baroness Lawrence. She was described as a trophy claimant by the Daily Mail. They, alongside the Telegraph, are suggesting she was swept into Harry's legal battle as though she could not have assessed the evidence and chosen to join on her own terms. That framing erases her agency entirely. This is the same woman who spent decades fighting the police, the press, and the establishment after her son Stephen was murdered. She knows exactly what powerful institutions are capable of when they want to protect themselves. Yet now, some outlets want to treat her as a helpless figure who wandered into court by accident. That narrative leans on a familiar and ugly pattern, treating a black woman's judgment as suspect and assuming she must have been manipulated by someone else.
Then there was the Kay Burley moment. During a Newsnight discussion about Epstein survivors, Burley interjected
information to come forward to us.
And these are British?
They are British, yeah.
Okay.
And we should accept that he was a war hero. We should just throw that in.
Thank you, Alex Davis-Jones. Lisa Phillips, thank you very much for being with us.
And we should accept that he was a war hero in reference to Prince Andrew. The comment reads like the opening move of a rehabilitation effort, shifting the emotional centre away from victims and towards sympathy for a powerful man. The same dynamics that shape Harry and Meghan coverage, who gets sympathy, who gets scrutiny, are running through all of these stories. From press accountability to a football pitch, and a senator who discovered consequences.
After France eliminated Paraguay from the World Cup, Paraguayan Senator Celeste Amarilla posted racist remarks about Mbappé, triggering global condemnation, and eventually, an open letter that reads more like a CV than a retraction.
That letter is revealing. Amarilla spent significant space establishing her French credentials, a French school education, Christmas in Courchevel, New Year in Saint-Tropez, before demanding Mbappé apologise to her for calling her despicable or face legal action for gender violence. The verdict is devastating. I'm not racist. I spent Christmas in Courchevel is not the argument she thinks it is.
Proximity to whiteness is not a legal defense. Invoking mestiza identity does not dissolve anti-blackness. Jeffrey Wright put it in a wider frame at Karlovy Vary. He said, they think they can somehow diminish how powerful he is on the field with their stupidity. It's just remarkable. His point is structural. Bigotry isn't about truth, it's about hierarchy. It allows people who have achieved far less to pretend they are above someone who has achieved far more.
And the result, as both stories show, is that the racist ends up exposing their own weakness. Mbappé kept winning. France won 2-0.
What connects all of this is the question of who gets the benefit of the doubt. In court, in the press, on a polo field, on a football pitch.
The answer is consistent enough to be a policy. We'll see whether anything shifts next week.